Well, this is a second attempt to start the podcast because Chia just likes to talk over me whenever I try to start it. She thinks that she's the center of attention in everything that she does.
A little.
Well, it's because it's mostly true. Welcome to another episode of Laugh and Be Blessed with your hosts, Jake and Chia Rubel.
I feel really high up.
It's because you're
I'm in a different
I put
chair.
you on a pedestal.
I'm normally in like a lawn chair, just sitting in our room.
Don't say a lawn chair. Like let's leave a little bit of the magic, up to the imagination.
I'm normally in a low sitting chair that folds up that you can take outside. And now I'm in
a big studio production here.
A chair that folds out, but
we're in a very large
stays
studio.
inside.
It is soundproof. There's definitely not kids that we have to pause this to go yell at sometimes, or the overwhelming sound of cicadas in the background.
Or there's definitely not still tons of laundry baskets
piled up everywhere. Just piled up everywhere. Well, we're happy to be here. We're excited to do this. Sorry that we're a day late, but
technically we're not.
I mean, that's true.
We're still gonna get it out on Monday.
Yeah, so we're just a few hours late.
Yeah,
we're
sorry,
just a few
friends.
hours late. So, so we're happy to be here. We've had a lot of really fun things been going on. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of really fun things been going on. I don't feel like that's the...
Did you say Ben?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that word.
Yeah, I said we've had a lot of really fun things been going on.
Oh.
I think I'm slowly...
You said it so fast, though, that it sounded okay.
But I think
totally
I'm
fine.
slowly unlearning how to speak. I think it's just
Not
happening.
really good for your career, but...
Well, I think it probably has something to do with the fact that you're slowly poisoning me.
Maybe.
Yeah, speaking of career, you want to talk about where I've been? You want to do that? So...
Let's talk about it.
Last week, because we're in a new week now. Mm-hmm. Last week I went to Nashville, Tennessee, and I did, on Tuesday, I did Dusty Slay's Grand Old Comedy Show in Nashville at Zany's Comedy Club, and it was a fantastic time. I really enjoyed it. I loved everything about Zany's. The only thing that I didn't like about the show is the fact that I came in through the back door. Now, this is my fault, not anyone else's, but I came in through the back door, went right into the green room, hung out with everybody in there. They said my name. I went on stage. I came back off stage, back into the green room, and then went back outside. Like, I didn't get a chance to check the club out at all. So I have no idea what it looks like in there.
Why didn't you check it out?
Just because, like, by the time that I had an opportunity to, everyone else was kind of either outside or in there looking, like, sitting down to watch the show. So I just kind of stayed in the green room and watched the show on the TV.
Oh.
Because they had a TV set up where you can watch what's going on.
Was it big in there, though? Do you know?
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty good-sized club.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. But it was fantastic, man. I had so much fun. I met a lot of really great people. Of course, Dusty's so funny, and he's so fun, and he's just such a great dude. I really enjoyed hanging out with him. And then my buddy Evan Burke, who was on the podcast, I stayed at his house. They have a beautiful house. Him and Mary Alice have like a wonderful, wonderful house that was built in 1903.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Ghost.
it's. Did you say ghosts? yeah, country ghosts, which is the worst. They just sit up.
The worst or the best?
Well, they just sit up crying all night. Country songs are always sad, so the ghosts are just crying.
That's true.
I mean, I'd rather a ghost try to just kill me, It's just like, I don't want to be listening.
I figured, like, out in the country, like, they're just going to want to sit on the porch and hang out like it's that.
No. I'm in the city.
Oh.
But it's Nashville, which means they're country ghosts, like country music singing ghosts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to be clever.
I caught up.
We're here now.
I forgot he lived in town, so I was just picturing, like, this old house out in the country with, like, some cornfields.
Nope, not even close. Okay. No, he's like 5 minutes from everywhere.
They don't have a lot of cornfields out there, do they?
No, that's an Indiana thing, and like Illinois and stuff.
When I think like the country, I just think corn.
No, mountains, around there. But it was fun. So like Tuesday, we did. I got into town, did the show with Dusty, hung out with him for a little bit, and then afterwards went to an open mic at a place called Twin Kegs. And the open mic it's ran by two different people, but that night the guy running it was a guy named John Hickok. And John Hickok actually has a very well-known YouTube channel called Hickok 45 that he does with his dad.
Okay.
You've seen me watch Hickok 45 a bunch of times. Yeah. So that was really cool to be able to meet him and hang out with him a little bit. And then And then the next day, so then Wednesday, I just went and I hung out at Dusty's house. We got him a nice little baby swing for the new baby, and I brought him some records.
Nice.
So just went over there, just kind of spent the day with him and Hannah and the baby, and just hung out there. It was a really good time. And then, again, Dusty Slay, you're going to have a good time. And then after that, me and Evan went to another open mic on Wednesday night I guess it's a new open mic. It's at a place called Fat Cat Slim's.
Okay.
Which was
the name.
It was a really cool little diner, bar / bar. I mean, really cool, great food. It was a new open mic, so the open mic was okay, but it's just like open mics, you can't go from doing a fantastic show at Zany's with Dusty Slay to go into an open mic and think that you're going to have like the best time.
Right.
Like the open mic really wasn't for me to like get up and just have a killer set as much as it was just to hang out with the local comedians, which is a fancy way of saying I just bombed on stage. Oh. But everybody did, which made me feel better. Okay. Like no one did good.
At least nobody did good. Yeah. And if we're all gonna suck, then it's fine.
But it was cool because then I actually got to hang out with John Hickok a little bit then, and then some other local comedians that I met, they were all really nice. There was a guy named Nick who just started comedy. He was super, super nice to me the whole time I was there. But Nashville just has like a really good comedy scene. Yeah. Like not only is it good comedy, but it's just good people. Like the people that are in the scene are really, really nice. They're very welcoming. So that was Wednesday. After that, we could have went back and did another open mic. But I told Evan, I was like, dude, I just kind of want to chill. Like, if you're okay with it, let's just go back to your house. So we went back to his house, and he's got a projector set up, and we watched a movie called Greenland, which was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a apocalyptic movie. Like there's a natural disaster, like a comet is going to hit the Earth and stuff. So it was really good. It had Gerard Butler in it.
Every time I watch anything post-apocalyptic, I'm like...
Well, this was pre-apocalyptic, which I guess technically is most movies. You know? It's like I like pre-apocalyptic movies.
Unless
it's like, well, that's all movies.
Pre.
Yeah. So this is apocalyptic.
Well, there's some, apocalyptic.
Yeah, because there's pre... And then there's apocalyptic, and then there's post. So this was as it was happening.
Okay.
So this was like
kind of like
end of the world.
What was that movie?
2012. Yeah, which was a great movie. I like that movie a lot.
I don't like any apocalyptic movies except for pre-apocalyptic. I like those, but post. I mean, I like watching them, but all I can think the whole time is.
What's your favorite pre-apocalyptic movie?
Do I die? My favorite pre-apocalyptic movie. Currently in my life is Wonder Woman. Yeah. Before that, it was Die Hard. They really just handled those right now situations the way they need to be handled. Yeah. So there's that.
That was so stupid. I don't know why this is so funny to me, but pre-apocalyptic movies hilarious to me.
I'm just saying. The only time I like anything that's about the apocalypse is in Supernatural because I know I'm going to be saved.
Yeah, it's true. So that was so then Thursday we did I actually Thursday, so Evan and Mary Alice work from home. So every day that I was staying with them, I tried to wake up and then just leave the house because I didn't want to be like, there bothering them.
Right.
So because I don't have a job. I actually did work.
You did, right?
I was gonna say I did
you
some
told
articles.
Me you did.
I did some articles. Well, I got paid, so I did something. So I got up. I went to a place called the Frothy Monkey. That's like right down the road from them.
That just sounds fun.
It's a really cool. I didn't go in. I just did curbside pickup because I wanted to go to the park and eat. So I got like a bagel sandwich and an Arnold Palmer, which is my favorite drink.
Drink of choice.
Hopefully one day they just rename it Jake Rubel. That doesn't sound as cool.
Did they do it because the golfer Arnold Palmer always requested that drink and they just were like, that's just what
I don't know if it was that or if he was the first guy that was just like, why don't you put a little bit of tea in that lemonade?
That's what I was saying. He was the person who would always like request like, I want some lemonade, but I want tea in there with it. Just make it like half and half.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so I got that. And then I went to this nice little park just a few blocks from their house, sat down next to this little pond, read my books. Like a couple cranes kept flying up next to me and trying to eat fish right in front of me.
You sent me a video, and that crane was so still. I was like, "Why isn't this video working?"
Yeah, it was.
And then it finally moved.
It was fantastic. I stayed there for hours and just read some books and stuff and had fun. And then
books?
Read a book, I guess, a book. And then that night, Evan has a new show that he's been doing at this place called the Patio Bar that's at a hotel. And it's just basically like by their pool area. They just have a patio bar out there. And he just set up like a comedy thing. And it was great. It was really fun. So on Dusty's show, the people that was at Zany's on Tuesday, the people that was there, it was Dusty went up first, then Aaron Weber, and then Evan Burke, and then a comedian named Laura, who I just met. I'm forgetting her last name right now, which is okay because she forgot my name on stage.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, then that's
because
fine.
Laura was bringing me up, and she was just like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Jake." But then I went out there and I was just like, just Jake's fine. That way you guys can't tell the cops my last name.
There you go.
So that worked out perfect for me. I want to say her last name was Hibbard, but I'm going to look it up because I don't want to be a jerk. So, yeah, Laura Hibbard. I did it right.
So you got a...
So Laura Hibbard, and then it was me, and then Derek Stroop, and then Dusty finished the show. So then on Thursday, it was on Evan's show. It was Evan, and then Aaron Weber was on that show as well, and a guy named Brad Sativa, and Laura Peak, Matt Taylor. There was another comedian there, and I forget his name.
Wow.
I feel like a really big jerk right now. It's not like he's gonna ever listen to this, but
No
everybody
one
there,
listens to this.
yeah, everybody there was super fun. It was really cool to hang out with Aaron Weber a little bit too. He just got married yesterday, so it was just cool just to kind of talk to him and get to know him a little bit, and meet him. And he's really funny. He's super nice off stage, which is always a plus. You know, you don't want somebody who you think is really funny to meet him and then just be like, oh, this guy's kind of a jerk. And he's not like that at all. So then we left that show, and immediately after Evan's show, we went straight to the Comedy Bar. So again, this is Thursday. So we go straight to the Comedy Bar right after that, and then there's a show there that I'm on. So again, the same people that was on the first show was in this one. A little bit, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time talking right now. It was Aaron Weber was on it, Laura Peak was on it, I was on it, Matt Taylor was hosting, and then there was a couple of other comedians that I didn't know. And it was so much fun. Like, it was such a perfect way to end the week. Because, I mean, I had a great set, and I felt really good about it. And there's nothing like just going and doing a couple shows back to back, having good sets on both of them, getting paid from both of them, and then just fleeing the city. So then
I had a pretty good week because the kids were at your mom's all week.
Yeah.
And so literally all I had to do was go to work, come home and sleep. I just had to take care of myself. I've never had that before.
Yeah, because you've always had me.
It was weird. Either you or the kids were always around, so it was kind of neat.
Yeah, did you just do a lot of sleeping?
Yeah, but it's different. It's different when I can come home and, like, sometimes you're still asleep. So, like, I have to, if I want to watch TV, I have to be real quiet. Like, you know, it's kind of hard. And then if you're awake, you kind of take over the TV. You'll try to watch something that I'm interested in too, but when I come home, I want to watch my show. Like right now, I'm rewatching Bones.
Yeah.
So I'll watch something with you and I'll like it, but that's not what I want to do. I want to watch Bones.
Yeah.
So being able to come home and sleep with the lamp on, because I like sleeping with the lamp on.
I hate it. I hate any light whatsoever in the room.
I don't, especially since you switched down our door, and now, because our old door was just junk, so you had to switch it out, but this door doesn't have a window in it. So we have no windows in our room, and you would think as a night shifter I would love that, but I don't, because I wake up so disorientated, like I don't know what's going on, and it freaks me out. So a little bit of a light on just helps me.
Well, good. I'm glad it was a good good week for you.
That's good.
So that's where I was, and here is where I will be.
Mark your calendars. Jake could be coming to a town near you.
Okay, so June 1st, which is tomorrow for me, but I don't, time travel and podcasting and all that. I will be in Mishawaka, Indiana, which is just south of Michigan, at the Smokestack Brew House with Andy Beningo. That is going to be a super, super fun show because Andy's great, and I hear really good things about the room they have there at the Smokestack Brew House. So I'm excited about that. So that's June 1st, and then June 5th, which is this coming up Saturday, I will be in Plainfield, Indiana at the Eagles with Donnie Baker. So there are 2 shows there. It's 7:30 and 10:30. The 7:30 show is already sold out. So if you want to come see me and Donnie Baker, you need to get your tickets super, super quick. They are going to sell out if they haven't already. The last time I checked, there were still some left, but it's a very good possibility that they sold out. So then the next weekend, which is the 11th and 12th, I will be at Gutty's Comedy Club in Greenwood, and I will be hosting a show there for Horace Sanders and Steve Rivera, which is going to be so great. Horace Sanders is very funny, and Steve Rivera is one of the funniest comedians I personally know, so I'm really excited to be hosting that show with them. And then the next weekend, which is June 18th, I will be in Linton at the Moose Lodge with Rob Wilfong. He's putting on a show there. And, that's going to be a great time. Rob always puts on super fun shows, so I'm excited about that one. So that is in Linton on the 18th at the Moose Lodge. And then on the 27th, June 27th, which is the last Sunday of the month, I will be back at Hoppy Wobbles hosting the show for Tyson Cox, Patrick Murray, and Jan Goditis. That's going to be a blast. So those are my June shows. If you want to see me, you've got a few chances there to do it. So you can just message me on Facebook or Instagram, anything like that, at Indiana Rubel, or just Jake Rubel on Facebook if you need any more details about any of that.
What games are we playing?
Well, I was going to do the games, like what games we've been playing, because we haven't talked about Mario in a while, but let's skip it.
We played Mario one day and we got farther in, and that's about all that happened.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So we can talk about our books.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Here's what we're reading.
So, what have you been reading lately?
Well, first, Jake.
Okay.
You want to guess where I am on my reading goal for the year?
29.
No, I'm not at 29.
24?
No.
23?
No.
20?
22.
22.
22 out of 15. I'm pretty happy about that.
You should be. That's
every once in a
awesome.
while I'm like, maybe I'll set a new goal, but I'm like, nah, because if I keep it at this, like I'll always, surpass my goal. So the last book I read was my last book to read by Atul Gawande, and the last book that my friend Danielle, she lent me about 5 books. This is the last book of hers that I had to finish. I returned all of her books to her. Thank you so much, Danielle. I loved all of them. This one was called Complications. Yes. Kind of talking about in the medical field how things can go wrong, why they go wrong, what we learn from them. It was just pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wasn't my favorite of his. Being Mortal is still going to be my favorite. Out of the 4 books I read, and I think he only has the 4 books, but Being Mortal was my favorite. Better was next, Complications, and then Checklist Manifesto came in last. It was alright, but it didn't keep my attention as much as the others did. But, so that's where I'm at. I am currently now reading a book that my friend Katie with a C lent to me, or gave me. I'm not really sure. I'll have to ask her if she wants it back or not. It's called, it's a fiction book. I like how I keep kind of flipping back and forth between fiction and nonfiction. So this one is called The Blinds. It's about, like, this town where criminals go and you live. And the girl so I'm not very far into it, but so far it's like she doesn't remember anything about her past, and I don't think any of them do. But they're sent to this town, and they're not allowed to leave. They're not allowed to have visitors. They can't write people.
Oh, so Australia.
Kind of, yeah. That's what. But she was pregnant when she got there, so her son's been out of town because the sheriff took him on a field trip to see a movie. So he's been out of town.
It sounds pretty interesting. It sounds like something I'd like.
Yeah, so, but now there's been like a suicide and a murder, and so they have to kind of figure out what's going on.
All right. Yeah, a little mystery.
Yeah. And then I had that reading app that had that romance series on it, so I just found a new romance book, and
look at you.
I just like them. So currently I'm on book 23 and 24. But not Checklist Manifesto, but Complications was also my last book on my to-be-read list. So I'm done with that list of things that I really wanted to get read this year. So now everything's just up for grabs. It's whatever.
Nice. Well, I'm on 9. I just finished book 9 of the year. So
Of what?
Of 30.
Okay.
Michael's 30.
Well, you still got time.
I know. And the thing is, I read multiple books at once.
More effort into it.
Why don't you calm down?
I'm just saying. But what'd you read?
Well, I finished reading I Can't Make This Up, Life Lessons by Kevin Hart.
Okay.
I finished reading that, and I really did like it. The beginning of the book I wasn't that into just because I'd already heard a lot of the stuff about his childhood and everything, so it was hard for me to kind of be into that whenever I already kind of knew it. But then once it got into how he started in comedy and, like, how many letdowns he had and, like, how many times he basically, like, broke into the entertainment industry and then fell away. I never really knew that about him. I thought it was just like a constant like trek forward for it, but it wasn't. It was like he would get like a movie and then nothing would really happen, or he'd get a pilot and they would shoot it and then they would cancel it. Like he just had a lot of stuff like that happen until he went back to doing comedy and just being on the road and everything. So it was really cool. It was a really cool book. I really did enjoy it. So I finished reading that, and then I've actually, the 3 books that I've been reading, I have been reading all 3 of them.
Oh, yeah?
So when I was in Nashville, I really only read The Shining.
Okay.
Is all I really read there.
So you got a big chunk of that?
I got a lot of that one done, so I think I'm a little over halfway finished with it now. And
good.
then I read some more of Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. I want to have that one done by August, so I kind of have a deadline on that one when I want to finish it. Read some more of that, and I do really enjoy it because it's a really cool just kind of glimpse into a generation that I think a lot of people our age holds in high regard. You know, like the 60s and 70s generation, a lot of times we look at it and we're like, oh, I really wish I would have been born then, or maybe not. I say our generation. I don't know. I think back on it a lot of times. There was just a lot of stuff going on, mostly music.
I think our generation, a lot of us felt that way.
Yeah. But I think it's pretty common.
The millennials.
I think it's pretty common, though, like for like people to look back on like 20 years before they were born.
I agree.
You know, like 15 to 20 years before they were born, and just been like, oh man, I should have been born then. So I don't know. So I'm really enjoying the book, though. It is really good. And then the other day you left with both my books in the car. So, but I had The Dark Tower was still here.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I have nothing else to do, so I'm just going to read that. And I read, maybe another 2 or 3 chapters in it, and was like, okay, this is kind of pulling me back in.
Oh, good.
So, well, maybe. I don't know. Because now I have 3 books I'm interested in. That usually doesn't happen. Usually I have 3 or 4 books I'm reading at once, but that's because the other ones are boring me and I'm putting them down. So we'll see how that goes. So that's all I've been reading right now, but it's been great. I've really been enjoying it. I like the books I'm reading, which is always a plus, because it's hard for me to, like, I read a book and I'll put it down if it's not really capturing me.
Right.
But I will always pick it back up and read it. So I like whenever it's a book that I'm okay with pushing through.
I can't read a book and not finish it. It doesn't matter if it bores me or not.
Yeah. I'll always go back to it, but there's times where I'll put it down for a while.
So uncompleted when I do that, and I know some people can. Mm-hmm. They can be just like, oh god, I couldn't even finish this book. It was awful. It was boring like that. Which I haven't been on Litzy very much. I need to get back into it. I've been looking at Facebook way too often.
Yeah.
But people on there will be like, this was a bail. Like I had to quit reading it, and I'm like, I couldn't. Yeah. I would have to make myself finish it. But I think that's another reason why I don't like really long books, because I'm like, if I don't like this,
right,
I got to be able to finish it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So, well, that's what we've been reading. Let's get into what we're watching.
What are we watching?
So I'm really excited about this for a couple reasons. Before we really get into what the most current thing that we've been watching, while I was in Nashville, I said that I watched that movie Greenland with Evan Burke.
Right. It
was very good. I really, really liked it. But I like movies like that a lot. And then the only thing about it is that it's, it focuses on family a lot. Like this guy really trying to protect his family, his wife and his son. It made me being in like another city and not having you guys around me. I can't watch those kind of shows.
Because you want to be like, hold on, I need to go kiss my kids.
Yeah, made me very emotional. That was when I texted you and I was just like, I should be at home with Holden. Yeah, so I had just finished watching that. So yeah, that was pretty emotional, but but that just means it was a great movie. And then A&E has been doing these documentaries on wrestlers.
Yeah.
And we watched one on Roddy Piper, and it was really, really good. Mm-hmm. Because he was like so different than his persona. Like his persona was he was the bad guy, like he made America hate him. But he was such a good guy in real life. At least that's the way the documentary made it seem. But I really enjoyed watching that. Now, let's get into what I'm really excited to talk about.
Yeah.
And here's why I'm excited. I'm excited for two reasons. Number one, because I thought this was going to be a big bummer and a letdown, and it wasn't. And number two, movie theaters are back.
Yeah, they are.
Like that's the biggest thing is that movie theaters are back. So we went to the movie theaters on.
This is not what I thought you were going to talk about, by the way.
What did you think I was going to talk about?
We watched something else recently that I thought you were going to talk about.
Urban Legend?
No, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you're too far away to be trying to talk to us.
I'm putting deodorant on. I gotta go to work tonight.
I understand that, but you either have to do one or the other.
No, I can do it all.
No, you can't.
You knock it off.
It sounds horrible.
Well, yeah, before we talk about what we've seen in theaters, there's this show called Vice, or like the channel Vice TV.
I wasn't going to talk about it, but go ahead. No, go ahead. You can do it. If you do it, then it's not me.
They're doing a show called Hunters. And basically the premise of the show is the hunt for something, whatever your passion is, your dream is. So they did a special on the Comedy Attic. They focused on one comedian.
Emil Joachim, who is very funny, and you should look into Emil Joachim for sure.
But there was, quite a few other comics that were in it, even if they only had a few minutes of their set on there. And one of them was my very, very handsome husband, Jake Rubel.
Look.
So he does have some TV time now.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing. I was on national television, and it didn't say person of interest below my name, or below my face, so that was pretty good. So yeah, I kind of was on TV with some of my friends.
You were on TV, not kind of.
Okay, I was on TV with some of my friends, and it was a really cool moment, and I was happy to even be like just a small little piece of a really cool puzzle. So it was fun. So thank you for bringing that up because I wasn't going to.
You're welcome.
So getting into the thing I was talking about, we went to the movies on Friday with our sister Jen, who we love dearly. And it would be weird if I was just like our sister Jen, who we hate. So
we went to the movies anyway.
Yeah, we went and we watched Cruella.
Like you're cruel?
No. I get it. It's just it sounded weird coming out. So Emma Stone plays as Cruella.
There you go.
And I did not think this was going to be a good... In fact, even when I was at Dusty's house, we seen a commercial or a preview for it. And he was like, why do they got to keep doing this? You know what I mean? Like, why do they got to keep making these movies? And I was like, I know. I was like, I mean, I'm into it because I like Emma Stone, but like, we'll see how it turns out. Because I thought for sure it was just going to be garbage.
Oh, I did too.
Like, I did not like...
I'm going to see it.
I didn't like the Aladdin movie. I didn't like...
I was very upset. The Aladdin movie...
I've never even finished it.
I finished it, but it just looked like a Broadway show or something. It didn't look like movie quality.
Well, I think they were kind of doing that with some movies for a while. Like they did that with like that. They were actually making Broadway shows into movies, which they've been doing that for a long time. But then they were keeping it in a play, like the play format.
It's a different thing.
So, anyway, so we watched the movie. We went, and number one, no dogs were harmed in the making of this film.
No, they weren't.
So we thought that she was just going to be like, I hate dogs and I want to kill all of them, and she didn't, so that was nice. Actually, there's some fantastic moments with dogs, including Wink, who I will kiss on the mouth. I don't care where he's been. I really like the movie a lot, actually.
I love the movie.
It was...
has a phenomenal soundtrack.
It's one of the best soundtracks I've ever... It's definitely the best Disney soundtrack I've ever heard.
I'm going to tell you guys this. Would not think it. There's a twist.
There is a pretty big twist that none of us got, which is rare. I looked at Jake
and I was like, nuh-uh.
Yeah, because usually whenever there's a movie like that and there's a big twist, one of us can figure it out.
Yeah, and I thought I had.
So Emma Stone and Emma Thompson are both in the movie. Yeah. And then there's an actor named Joel Fry, who I thought did really good. He's in Game of Thrones. He was in 10,000 BC.
Who's Joel Fry in it?
Jasper.
Okay, that's what I was figuring.
Yeah, so he was great in it. He did actually a really good job. I really enjoyed him. But the person who I felt like stole the show was Paul Walter Hauser. Mm-hmm. Paul Walter Hauser was so funny. Now, I hadn't actually seen him in movies until very recently. I think the first movie I really noticed him in was Richard Jewell. He was in Richard Jewell, which I went and watched in the theaters with Will, actually, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought his acting was superb in it. I thought he did such a good job. And then he was in Cobra Kai. Like, right after that, he was in Cobra Kai, and I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of like this guy. And now he's in Cruella as Horace, and he's so funny in it. Like, ridiculously funny. Funnier than he has any right to be in this. So, it was a great movie. And then,
what's the edge?
Yeah, what's the edge? Angle.
Angle,
yeah,
that's
what's the angle? He's really, really funny. So,
is that the angle?
I highly recommend watching this movie. Definitely go watch it. But here's why I was most excited about this, because the movies are back now, which is great, because one of the big reasons why I wanted to do this segment on what we've been watching is because I watch a lot of movies. I mean, it's obviously stand-up comedy is my career, but my second job, my job that helps me pay bills that I actually really enjoy doing, is I write articles about movies. So movies, TV, all that's I love the entertainment industry, and I always have. So I actually am an AMC Stubs member, which means that I pay $20 a month, and I can go watch 3 movies a week with that. Now I can go to more movies if I want to buy a ticket for it, so it's not like they stop me or whatever, but it's just I have $20 a month is what I pay for my membership fee. I can go watch 3 movies a week, which honestly, a lot of times during the summer, and I mean, even whenever the kids go back to, well, they're not going to go back to school. I don't even know. I'm just rambling at this point. But what I'm trying to say is,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, is that I do. A lot of times I will go to 2 or 3 movies a week just because I can. Because since I spend that, which means I get to watch a lot of movies that normally I wouldn't. Richard Jewell, it's not a movie I would have went to the movies to watch, other than the fact of it was a free movie. It was Sunday, so I had one more movie to go watch if I wanted, and I just chose that one, and it was a really good time. So I'm excited because now I get to go back to the movies and watch these new movies as they come out, and then come here on the podcast and tell you guys what I think about them and whether or not you should go watch it yourself, or whenever it comes out on, streaming or DVD, if you should watch it. Blu-ray. I guess they don't really do DVD anymore. So anyways, this is a short podcast. We were just kind of updating everybody. We just wanted to jump on here. But we are going to have to go because Chia has to go to work.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go
most
finish.
Most of our afternoon finally planting our garden. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to go finish kind of planting our garden.
Yeah.
So we're going to go do that. So first of all, we just want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you very much for all that you do for us. We really appreciate you guys very, very much. And we love you so much. Yeah, so thank you. If you want to help us out on Patreon, please go to patreon.com/laughandbeblessed, and you can bless us, and hopefully you get blessed for blessing. How about we'll just say that?
Full circle.
And then also for mental health check-in, the only thing I'm going to say is I've recently started doing morning meditations, and it is doing wonders for me already. Yesterday I felt so good all day. I just felt like I was where I should be. And I mean, whenever I say I'm doing morning meditations, like, I'm really trying to get into it. Like, I'm getting down, I'm facing east, I am doing a chant. I'm doing all the hippy dippy stuff. Like, I'm getting far out, man, and I'm enjoying it. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out to us. Again, you can reach us, Jake Ruble's Blessed Ones on Facebook, or just Jake Ruble on Facebook, or at Indiana Ruble on Instagram, or you can just contact us at jakeruble.com. So we love you guys very much. Hopefully I'll see you at a show soon, and next week we'll be back for our full-length episodes. So for the remainder of this week, just do us both a huge favor.
And laugh and be blessed.